Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live stream. My name is JT Foxx, world's #1 wealth and business coach, serial entrepreneur, private equity owner, best-selling author, property investor. We have here the pack, aka my CEO, basically runs the empire as well. And today's topic is Your Money Matters. So, how are you, Pack?
I'm good. It seems oh, there we go.
I want to talk about something that I'm starting to have a little bit of a pet peeve on, and I want to know how people think about that. And everyone, please comment, like. Very, very curious. It seems that there's two types of people that are giving advice right now. You have the wannabe gurus, and I saw it again today: the car, the house, the planes, all of which I have, but I don't show. Now, celebrity branding, yes, I show. Why? Because all the big brands hire celebrities. So there's nothing, the celebrity branding is get me noticed first. And by the way, ironically, many of these people don't have celebrity branding. Some do, but the majority don't, which is very, very interesting, because that's a whole new level for someone to write a check for a celebrity or to be in that circle. It's a whole different level. And then you have the financial advisors who don't make that much money or don't have as much money as the people to invest. So it seems that people are skewed between these two. And then there's people like me who, by the way, not only, I made a lot of money, and then I also became a speaker. I didn't become a speaker and then made money. I made a lot of money in real estate. In the last week, I've probably done more deals than most people, okay? After really not doing any deals where myself getting involved. Right, my money was doing deals. We've got 47 odd deals right now that are on my desk, buying, selling businesses that I'm sifting through right now. For some of them, just like as low as $1. We're gonna be talking about that tomorrow on the. And by the way, tomorrow we've got Hugh Hilton, who's done billions in transactions. Who's my coach? We have Mark Anthony's my coach is going to be there. We have Steve Mandel, who's a super agent, and Steve Mandel takes like 5% of the company, and he says, "Pay me $10,000 a month." Like, so and he still takes ownership. So there's a way of taking ownership. Everyone has their different models. We have our models. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, because I think most small businesses are not going to reopen. So the question I want to present to everybody else, and then there are people who want to do it themselves, which I understand. Okay. So those seems to be the three categories. And then you have the big companies like Blackstone, BlackRock, and the huge companies, which are basically, here, you take my money, you make me rich, but I don't make as much of a return, because obviously they have massive fees and things like that. So the question is who to trust, and who should people turn to? Should they do it themselves? Should they put it to me? Should they go to a local advisor, but their local advisor has a big company backed and they're getting data, but they're really, in essence, salespeople? Should they go to somebody online because they have a Lamborghini and they're showing how to make money trading? What do you think?
Trust no one. No. So, I mean, I think it's tough because there's a lot of different ways to look at it. And I think part of it should be, you have to decide as an individual, like, who is the person you want to be like, right? If you want to be like in the hustler baller revolution, that's your right. You can be in the hustler baller revolution, and then you should probably follow the hustler baller people and find out how it works for you. If you don't want to be in the I'm a baller category, and you want to be, let your, success and accomplishments stand for themselves, then that's probably not the person that you need to follow. I think it really just comes down to, as an individual, like, what type of success are you looking for? Because at the end of the day, we could sit here and say, don't trust the people that are like flaunting the homes and the cars and the cash. They could be renting it. They could be borrowing it. They could be taking a photo in front of somebody's on the street. But if that's like what you want, they're just gonna
But you'll never make that money.
They need to find it out for themselves. Like,
but they never will, because they don't have the ignorance of knowledge to know. Like, for example,
but it's the
when
kid.
I see
It's a little kid, don't touch the hot stove. Unfortunately, most kids at some point touch the thing that's hot that their parents tell them not to. And it's not till they touch the thing that's hot, they understand, oh, mom or dad told me not to. I didn't listen to them and I burned my hand. But they have to find that they have to learn for themselves. So if you think that person, you know, looks like that's the life you gotta, it's almost like, because I think if that's what, but not everyone wants that. That's my point. Not everyone wants that, but the people that want that, right? They're just gonna, if somebody is following you, but wants the baller lifestyle, right? Like, they're probably going to get like frustrated or fight back or whatever, where if they go follow the baller person and they realize, okay, that didn't work, now they're going to be more apt to listen to somebody else.
By the way, if you're tuning in, JT Foxx, world's #1 wealth and business coach. Francie, my CEO, runs all my companies. By the way, if you could do me a favor and press the like button right now, we know how many people are on. We really appreciate it. It takes very little effort. I know it's hard to press over the like button, the thumbs up. Doing 30 minutes straight without knowing what we're going to talk about before, that's easy. But pressing the like button, I know it's hard. And then some of you just like to watch and never click. Only when Francie's on by herself will you click, by the way. When it's me asking you, I should just ask Francie, like, please ask them to click. So here's why I see it. I used to say this: you can have the greatest restaurant in the world, but if nobody knows you, you're going out of business. Then I would have argued 2 years ago, you could be the worst restaurant in the world. Okay. But if you have great marketing, you will make it. You'll beat out the best restaurant because you're better at marketing. But then you had a lot of review sites that came about. And eventually you would either go out of business or your business would go down because people would Google and say, I don't want to go to this restaurant because they have 1 star or 2 stars or whatever. Now what has happened is nobody trusts anything. You have these fake review sites where people put in there and these companies extort you to take it off. Disgruntled customers tell the whole world. Happy people, happy living. People on YouTube make videos trashing other people, but say, hey, buy my stuff instead. And people are so tired of like who to believe, right? And it becomes this polarization where I think that negativity no longer matters, right? You can tell the whole world you're in bankruptcy and you're going down and say it's a joke and people could get away with it. You could have gone to jail and people are like, it's okay. Like there's no like standard of that. You can flaunt your wealth, which was most likely had because you invested in these things, not because of the investments I have. You can do a whiteboard and do math that makes no sense to any intelligent person who looks at that and say, these numbers this doesn't make sense. And I think that's kind of what's happening right now. I think there's a lot of noise, just like the coronavirus. So much noise. I was talking to somebody this morning, just right before a call in Texas. You know it, do this. And I was like, what are they saying about the spikes in Dallas? It's like, man, there's traffic. People don't care, right? They don't care, right? And I think a lot of the sources of the media trying to find negativity on everything has desensitized people. And it used to be you have a bad rating, a bad review, a bad everything. Now people just assume another hater. We've had stalkers where Facebook just shut down, you know what I mean? Because of, 8,000 negative posts, they shut it down, you know what I mean? And for a while, they're like, it is what it is. And then one day just decided, and people are desensitized. And I think what happens is that, and they use that, right? So you use that like, these haters, something very common people use. But I think there's different types of haters. There's haters who bought your product and never did anything with it. You have haters who don't know you, never met you, but got burnt by somebody else. So you're as bad as everybody else. And then you have haters because that's all they ever do is they hate on everything without accomplishing anything. And then you have people who hate because they are afraid. And then there are people that are hater just so you get your attention, so you acknowledge them so they can power them. That's the whole world. So it is becoming very hard to figure out what's real and what's not real. And we're seeing it in the investment world. We're seeing in the medical world. Think about this. World Health Organization, asymptomatic does not matter. It's very low spread. Dr. Fauci next day says that's wrong. Who do I believe? Right? You understand? So is that the new reality of the world as the rise of online and YouTube? Where is the line and what should people do? Or is it just a new reality? Just people have to kiss a lot of frogs, your prince and princess, and you just have to know you might have to get burned a few times along the way because it's hard to get to the right thing at first. That's the dilemma that is happening right now. Your thoughts?
So I think one, it comes down to, you know, something you always talk about, trust but verify. I think that's, you know, number one, trust but verify. Like anyone can say anything, but, you know, are there results? Are there success stories? Are there testimonials? You know, like trust but verify, right? There's a great investment opportunity. What are the details, right? Even with your private equity, like people trust you, but they're not just like, here's my money. They read the PPM, they ask what type of deals we're investing in, what are the returns, what did we do in first quarter, right? It's trust but verify. Like, right, even people that know you, they're not just wiring you money, they're still going through a process to say, okay, I trust you, but I'm verifying this is a private equity. What are the things you're investing in? What are the returns? I think so. That's number one, trust but verify. I think number two is, what are your goals? What's your value and belief system? And that's where you have to align things. You know, I think, you know, when you talk about, you know, you mentioned coronavirus and this whole thing, and there's people all over the place. People are like, okay, I'm over it. I don't care if it's done with us or not, but I'm over it and I'm going back to life as normal. There's other people that are not over it and do have at-risk family members or, you know, newborn babies at home or whatever the case may be. So they're being more cautious. And it's kind of like, you have to make the decision that's best for you, right? Like the people that are just like, I'm going to life back to normal and I don't care at all because I'm just going to do what I want to do. That's great. But you also have to understand if that's what you choose and you get excluded from things because there's other people that are being more cautious, you have to be okay and understand that. So I think it comes down to like trust and verify. What are your value and belief systems and what do they align with? And the reality is not every, you know, when it comes to online stuff, not every person is for everyone. Not every restaurant is for everyone, right? Like everyone talks about these amazing ramen restaurants. Great. I can't go. I don't eat gluten, right? I might tell someone about this amazing restaurant where everything on the menu is gluten-free. If they're not gluten-free, they have zero desire to go there. Even if the food's delicious and you have no idea that the stuff is gluten-free, everything is not for everyone. And every coach isn't for everyone. Every investment is not for everyone. Every lawyer, every dentist, every doctor, every restaurant, you name it, is not for everyone. And everyone is not your customer. So that's okay if somebody doesn't go with you and they go with somebody else because you're not for them.
It's interesting. You know, everybody, we talked about this when we did the real estate. What's really cool about what is it that I do and what we do, I could do real estate, I could buy businesses, we could do online marketing, we could speak, coach, done crypto, still do, done a lot of different things. And I believe in being very well hedged and diversified. But there's one skill that I think separates the greats and the investor, and also to how much of your own money you have in the fund. Like, for example, in my fund, I started off, I put the first $2 million in. So if you know that, like, I put $2 million in, meaning that to show, hey, like that's a big commitment. Sometimes people have fun and they have no money in it. That's another thing, or very little of their money they rely. So I think that's also a good sign. But interestingly enough, we had this deal. We talked about this morning. For those who don't have Millionaire Flix, by the way, Millionaire Flix is all 51 of my courses, 4,000 hours of content for $20. And today we had the level 2. So if you want to upgrade, you got one-on-one coaching with me and Francie, where we answered everybody's questions, every single question, and we went one by one. But what was very interesting is I talked about this, that we had this deal we talked about where I was literally about a month ago about to close. And 30 minutes before the closing, it fell apart. And we recorded the whole thing. And now, for the last month, I've been trying to get it back and offers and strategy. And now we're getting extremely close to getting, they finally came down. And I think we're 99% there to be able to get the deal. But here's a deal that was a dead deal. But we played the game, we played the persistence. And, you know, and here's the thing too, like someone of my net worth by something that probably would have just moved on to the next thing. But I believe that this was a very good thing. So I was very persistent about it. And if you really look at it, persistence, ambition, work ethic, loyalty, commitment, you know, attitude, none of these things cost money. And most people wouldn't have had that persistence. Doesn't hurt to keep following up. And now we're take over that deal and we'll make about 85,000, 90,000. Right? All it took is texting someone to say this, say this, say this. And to me, just like, honestly, I don't like learning from people who have less success than me. It doesn't mean that your opinions are not valuable. Doesn't mean you're any less of a person. It's just, I look up. And same thing with you. Now, if people might say, oh my God, we learn from everybody. Yeah, what not to do. Right? What not to do. So I have come to the realization, we'll talk about this a little bit on Facebook, but again, I thought about it all night. I woke up this morning, I thought about it again, is that I have been helping so many people. Like I talked to someone we know from Montreal, you know, the guy we know from Montreal. And he had a deal, some mass deal, PPE deal, stuff like that, right? And he raised 8 million like that. Okay. And I said, who did you raise it to? He says, well, on Millionaire Flix, you know, the course, how to network with people that are more successful than you. You know, I built relationships, I followed up, I you know, took them to lunch, went to their office, everything you talk about in that course, I did. And the guy says, how many people? He goes, I don't know, there's a lot of more people, but I got 20, 30 people. I have a little group that I've cultivated over the years. Okay. And then I said to myself, if I had a deal like that, I could put the 8 million myself. That's not a problem. But could I call a group of people and say, I got this thing. Hey guys, let's just put it in there. Like I know a lot of people, but never once I talked about deals. Never once I talked about money. Never once I asked them to invest because I didn't want to put the relationship. Plus I could do the deals myself. And that's the realization is I'm convincing people to pay $20 for everything I've done, right? 4,000 hours, rather than focusing on my effort on the people. By the way, do you know how many highly successful people have Millionaire Flix for $20? And they listen to Inside JT's Deal. You know, they said they want to know how you think. And then I have some people, and then I realized like I'm trying to convince all day long by doing these lives, by the way, entrepreneurs, people who want to get rich, who just want to watch motivational stuff on YouTube, who are not going to do anything, right? And I'll blame everybody and then say I'm a bad guy, rather than focusing on like the person who owned this giant building, who I'm now friends with, who wasn't focusing on that. That is the realization, because that, I mean, I had a, you know what, hey, let's go play golf. Let's go there. But I can't, I got a live. Can't go. Sorry, can't go play. I got a live. Got to keep my word. For what? That is the realization. I have been the big fish in a small pond, and it's time to move to the other pond. And that's the realization that I've realized. Like this morning doing the level 2, I enjoyed that tremendously. Small group of clients. I could see everybody's face. And then I coached 2 people one-on-one. Okay, who had previously coached, by the way. Just, you know, when I offered the special promotion and they wanted to continue, so I said, fine. And I thoroughly enjoy talking to people about an idea that I came up with, right? Like 3 weeks ago, that's already working, right? And then they got this deal. Yes, don't do this deal. No, 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 don't do that. You know what? You're getting screwed. Don't do that. Walk away. No, no, you can't do that right now. And it felt like I was talking with people that got it. This morning when we did level 2, they got it, right? I felt like, and like we talked to our client, Jonathan, was very left brain, was kind of stuck, right? Doing 2 deals today. That's what I want. So I am no longer going to spend and waste my time 3 times a day and overexposing myself. Overexposing myself.
Well, right now,
in a
you
way.
don't have a choice.
What?
I said, right now, you don't have a choice.
What do you mean?
You can't get on Instagram.
Oh, yes. Well, password issues. Old cell phone number that they don't, even though we reset, which by the way, you need to send that email to them again and figure out something we haven't got back to. That's the problem. When you reach out to $1 billion company with like 4 billion users amongst their platforms, and there's no phone number and there's an email, and it probably goes to another country, to then another country, to another country. It's very frustrating, but we went to that before. But yeah, it's interesting. It was my first live. Now we continued on the Facebook fan page live. But I think that's the point. Like I'm going to put out great content on Millionaire Flicks. It's $20, everything I have. Everything is going to go on there. I'll post little things on YouTube here and there. My job is not to entertain you. My job is to make you money. That's my job, right? And to tell you what's working, what's not working. And, I'm going to take that 2.5 hours that I've been giving in the last 95 days, every day, 2.5 hours. That's just online, giving contact, to going back to doing and spending that time into building, monetizing relationship. And by the way, here's what people don't understand. When I build relationships, my clients benefit. I bring them on Millionaire Flicks. They come to my event, Mega Success. They end up being coaching by this. I'm playing to the wrong crowd. And I actually blame you, to be honest with you. I blame you. I'll tell you why, and not in a bad way. You've been telling me to do this for the last odd years. Okay. You've been telling me, spend more time on social media, more posting, more this, more that. And I did 95 days. Right. And I don't feel smarter. I don't feel fulfilled by any kind of means. I felt fulfilled by coaching people one-on-one. I thought I'd hate it. I really did. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. There's only one that was a little weird because they want to talk about how to go to space. I thought that was a little weird. And there was another person who paid me so they can coach me. And I had to sit there and take it for 30 minutes where they were coaching me. But I thoroughly enjoy, and I learned more from that. And now I've realized that when I spend time on deals, I spend time on just things that, here's the thing, I'm talking about the things we ought to be doing right this second.
So here's what I'm going to say. One, you tell people all the time in business and when you're coaching, like, it's not about what makes you happy. It's about what you need to do to get the job done, right? So you weren't happy doing it and you don't feel fulfilled doing it, but your clients that are existing clients feel more grateful and engaged and connected. So I would say, did you learn anything from it? No, of course you're not going to learn anything from going live and doing webinars. The point is not for you to learn, it's for you to share with others. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, nobody that built and amassed a, big social media following and became, who they are, did it in 95 days. So I'm going to say point 2 is, I know you've done it for 95 days and you haven't enjoyed it, and that's fine, but there's not one person out there that did it in 95 days. So for you to be like, I've done it for this long and it didn't work. I don't say it didn't work. Of course I had the engagement. But here's the thing too. I can do things. I don't have to do them anymore. You understand? No,
I was in a different situation. That's the thing. If there's a situation, by the way, how many free events did I go around the world over and over? How many 2 days that I did that people
which
came
you didn't
back?
have to do.
Correct. So I feel like.
But that's the thing, like you've always done all that's the point of business, right? Like business is doing a lot of effing shit you don't want to do every day.
I'm with you. Correct. But here's the thing too. Now I want to do other things. I want to do other things. And by the way, that will benefit my clients.
So
that
do
will
other things.
That's what I'm going to do it. That's what I'm saying. So you are going to do some of the lives now.
But here's what I'm going to make the argument of. Yesterday, you had 1, 2, 3. You had 3 hours of scheduled things on your calendar yesterday. No, Wednesday, 3 hours, right? So you had one just from 9 to 5, not even, and I know you're up at 4:30 in the morning, but just from 9 to 5, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unscheduled hours. So my point is, I agree with you. You could do other things, but I also know in that time frame, you're like, I'm bored. I don't want to sit in the office anymore. I need to go walk around. I need to be outside. I'm going to go for a run. You know, you do things and you think strategically, but I also know, I don't think your boredom is so much with getting on the lives. Your boredom is sitting in an office every day.
No,
if you were in a different location every day.
No.
Yeah.
No. Not after 90 days. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The world, we did it as a service. People were locked down. People are getting on with their lives, right? They're going back to work. They're doing things. There are people alive, but we're going back to the way we are, which means we need to go back. I can't do the same thing I've been doing for the last 90 days when the rest of the world is now evolving to back.
So your going back though is events.
No.
You just said we need to go back to what we were doing.
No, people are going backward. They're not us. People back.
You said people are going back to what they were doing. We need to go back to what we were doing. That's
back to what we were doing, like doing business. You know what I mean? Not back to doing events. I will do the events that I have. I'll have mega success because I think it's great branding for me, great branding for my clients. I'm going to coach people at the house, wherever that event ends up being. And I will fulfill what I need to have, but I'm not getting back. And I'll do the 2 days that I have to. And you know, if I have to speak 5,000-10,000 people, I'm just not getting back on a plane to do what I did before. And that's the realization that I did, right? And I am going to do the things that I teach every single day, but I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do. And by the way, look at this. Like I got a deal. Like I just like the fact that I couldn't get the deal, and now I'm going to get the deal, right? I need to be like the excitement of the deals, you know what I mean? So this will be, Monday will be our last YouTube. At least you're still going to be on as part of the brand and people are going to listen to you. I don't remember if I get back into Instagram, probably by Monday, but I don't know if I'm going to keep the Instagram lives going. I'm not sure. I've decided that, but also too accessible. It's been too accessible. Here's the thing. Tony Robbins is not on. Gary Vee is no longer on. So how come Gary Vee is no longer on? You understand? Like, so the world is, you know what I mean? So this is the pivot for me. This is the pivot. Okay. And so here's the thing too, until I cut the cord, I'm always going to keep procrastinating about, but here's like for a long time, I felt
our fourth conversation we've had about it. So I'm sick of talking about it. Just stop doing it and do whatever you want to do. I'm like so sick of rehaving the same conversations with you.
But that's the but yeah, of course. But that's what it is. That
just come live and start doing what you want to do and just effing do it.
Of course. We're putting on a show here. Calm down. Calm down.
Sick of so much of my time is us having the same conversation over again.
Right, correct. And but you know why? Because here's the thing too, making the wrong decision could have some impact. So sometimes in these situations, you have to have the conversation until you're a point where, but
yesterday we had the same conversation 9 times and it wasted an entire day.
Correct. And now I have clarity. And I talked to Hugh and George about it last night.
And all the conversations were the exact same as the first one.
Correct. And by the way, after they said, and we discussed it, by the way, those are recorded. They'll be posted. You can actually hear what they said. And they said exactly what it is. We will keep the people we have. We will keep people to have, and we'll have the engagements we have, and we are going to focus. And sometimes we just need to repivot and readjust and things like that. And there's got to be a new normal. There's got to be a new normal as well, because I think deals are coming, and they're already coming as well. But I think you're going to have to fight, because here's what's going to happen. When people start thinking, oh my God, here comes all the real estate deals. Oh my God, here comes all the businesses. Everyone's going to do the same thing. And it's going to be massive competition, right? People need to realize people are going to go with whoever says it's hot. So as soon as the media says, oh my God, look, they're great deals, every guru in the world is going to start promoting that, right? If this is like buying businesses, a distressed asset, everyone's going. Right now, people are like, oh my God, look at the market. I don't know what it's doing today. What's the market doing today?
Well, you got some stocks going down, some going up. Let me see. The Dow looks to be up right now.
The Dow's up 111, so not that much compared. But here's the interesting thing. The Dow is up 111 points, but the fear factor is also up 25. So that is interesting, because usually when it's negative, the fear is up considerably. So it just gave the VIX at 229. The VIX was at 109 yesterday. Like, that's a very big swing. That's kind of like numbers. Yeah. So very interesting. The VIX is actually down 5%, but the TVIX is up 13.5%, which, by the way, makes no sense. So that there's no rationale about life. But what they need is the way the world we used to do is we used to do 100 different things. And I think now everything, especially for those of you who want to get clients online, it's not just pump and dump and move on. You know, whether it's changing headlines and conversions and videos and processes. I think the key going forward for many of you in your businesses is to take a look at the surgical, okay? Take a look at the surgical component of success. Like, how do I go, like, little incisions and strategics, because of very small changes can make massive impact on the return, whether it's your financial return, whether it's your marketing return, whether it's your sales return. So some of you are just so close, but we just need to cut just a little bit, an incision. And sometimes that makes all the difference in the world. And it's hard because the analogy I use, we were like bulls in a china shop, right? Like, and things got broken, but doesn't matter. There were still a lot of things to do. But now everything has to be careful. It's interesting because this is a time where left brainers can truly excel. And for right brainers, it's a huge adjustment. Huge. I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, I think there's truth to that, but I also think, still left brainers usually biggest weakness is, paralysis by analysis or analysis paralysis, whatever, where they're overanalyzing and never do anything, which is, can still be the biggest problem. Yes, you've got to analyze, you've got to be strategic, but you can end up doing nothing if you just overanalyze everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, but also too, looking at from a different brain, it's very interesting to see if people really put the effort in, how much they can rewire their brain into thinking differently.
That's true. And I think the reality too, though, is, and something people need to think about is everything is, it's just like working out, right? Like, if your business is if you said tomorrow, I want to be a bodybuilder, right? That doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen in 3 months. It doesn't happen in 6 months. That takes a lot of time and commitment. And you can't give up if after a certain period, you're not where you want to be. You've got to keep, because you're not going to get there like this. It takes a lot of work. And I think business is the same way. And I think people we live in a world and people have become too accustomed to instant gratification. I do that, like I order this, it's at my doorstep. I go here, I find this person to connect with. I search here, I can see the property and I don't even need to go there. We have everything available to us faster, quicker, easier. And so we're expecting the results faster, quicker, easier. But in everything, it still takes time. Like building your business still takes time. Growing a business still takes time. Getting to a certain financial goal still takes time. Like it all is going to take time. And so I think people need to also realize too, that whatever the goal is, whatever you're trying to get to, it's not doing it once. It's not listening to Pitch, Sell, Close one time on Millionaire Flicks. It's probably listening to Pitch, Sell, Close one time a week on Millionaire Flicks for 6 months. To really, really get great at selling and really pull everything out of selling. And it's not listening to, Inside JT's Deals once. It's going back and listening over and over and over again. And I think that's the point that we're at. And I've told you sometimes that's the point I think you get to also. And everyone suffers from it. You do something and you want to see it like this. And that's just not that's not always how business works. Now you're going to start to see wins. You're going to start to see success. You're going to start to see change. But just because you start to see it doesn't mean you take your foot off the gas. You have to keep working on those things in order to see the result and see the impact and see the rewards and the efforts pay off. It goes back to and JT, you had the quote of that, right? Like I remember your exact quote because you had your exact years, days, whatever, but it's the like, it took me 10 years to become an overnight success. People only see the end and think people just popped out of nowhere and don't realize, where people started and how long it took them to get to where they are now.
Yeah. Also, too, on the flip side, I was just reading some of the comments. I've made it. I got nothing to prove. So I've 54 countries, clients in 100. 50 plus companies and brands, did it in every industry, no matter what it is. I have proven it. I have done it. So if you haven't made it, then you just got to suck it up. I don't. That's the thing. I don't. That's the thing. I don't have anything to prove, right? I've done in coaching. I can look at people, tell therapists, I have nothing to prove to anybody except for myself now, right? And one of my biggest things a lot of my coaches have said, I've put a lot of people's lives before mine. So it's true. And also too, like, and I always say, when people don't feel appreciated, they don't need to do it, right? It's something we dealt in January with, right? I didn't feel appreciated at the end of January, early February, stuff like that. We had a business relationship. We walked away because it was like, not feeling like it's going to be appreciated.
But I don't think right now you're feeling, correct me if I'm wrong, you're feeling not.
No, not to the people that are here. I'm feeling unappreciated that I cannot, and not to me personally, I got people here every day, like people that are on level 2 Millionaire Flicks, people that are here because they recognize the name. They're amazing. And I guess these people, most of them already here, they're already on Millionaire Flicks. You understand? They're winners. And I'm trying to convince other people, like what Chris this morning said, he tried to give somebody Millionaire Flicks for $20. Like he'd pay for it. And they didn't even open it. And so it's more of a frustration of people not here. You understand? Like the impact, that it's not the impact. I think that's more what I'm talking about. It's not the people, it's the impact. Like I realize I can only change people who want to change. And those are the people here. Those are the people that are watching them. So it's kind of like doing something and you realize it's not making an impact. It's making an impact to the people here. But the people here, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be on Millionaire Flicks, right? Every day on Millionaire Flicks, right? Like you understand it's impact. Because people are drive-by. First of all, they want to be entertained. So you said that. Then there's consumption, but there's not mastering, retention, and domination. They want to be entertained, you know, to them, and that's the point, right? I mean, they want to be entertained. They want to consume, but there's not that. So I feel that it's wasting skills on people who don't get it. And as a result, they're, you know what? I bet you 100%. I talk shit about other people and start doing these review videos and actually exposing their bullshit, record views, right? I mean, the two podcasts where I talked about a certain things lightly got the record number of views. Number two, I start having cars and jets and all that stuff in my videos and stuff like that. I would increase the views. Okay, I know those two. I don't buy likes and followers, and they do. Okay, I don't. So, and because they have likes and followers, they have this illusion that they must be successful, right? I mean, how many people we have seen where they bought likes, right? They bought TikTok followers, right? Or likes.
Well, like, why do you? Here's my question: like, why do you care? That's what I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why it occupies space in your brain and space in your emotions and space in your...
No, because I have been worried. I've been wired. Help people, help people, help people, help people. Family first. Put people first. Family first. Put people first. Don't worry about the money, right? What? Not everybody's like that. Come on.
No, I didn't say that. I said you do all of that.
Right. So what I'm telling you is this: there comes a time where when you put so much effort into something and you don't see the impact it should be making. Okay, I am not doing this here today for money. I'm doing it because if it wasn't for this, there are a lot of things in my life that wouldn't happen. If it wasn't for the people here who have met some of the most amazing people, I wouldn't be who I am. But these people here are not going anywhere. They're all on Millionaire Flex, right? I'm going to see them all at Mega Success. I'll probably see them when they come to my house, right? So they're amazing people. So at the end of the day, it's a struggle to figure out what's the next thing when you have that. And by the way, it's a conversation I have with a lot of successful people all the time. So I think we're off back. I think it says live, but I don't see it live. Is it live? I think it's off. Is it off?
I don't think it's off.
Because it's saying on my thing, regardless. Because we went an hour. That's supposed to go this. Oh no, it's an hour. So I don't know.
We're not at an hour yet.
It's circling on my thing. Constant struggle. It's by the way, it's a constant struggle for a lot of people. It's you know what I mean? It's a constant struggle. It's a constant. By the way, it's that paranoia, that constant mind thing that pushes me to greatness. That's what people don't understand. It's a process. It's always worked. It's always worked. And here's the thing too. You could say, I'm tired about it, but that thing that's in my brain is what got that deal, which by the way, you will profit from, right? The company will profit from. It's that way that I am, why I still have people in my life like Hugh and George Ross, who by the way are going to be on tomorrow, and my coach Mark, who by the way, everyone benefits. It's the way that I am that you know what? Yeah, maybe I drive people crazy. Steve Jobs drove people even crazy more. I'm like a tenth of the guy that guy was. And I know that because I know Apple co-founder. He called me the closest thing to Steve Jobs. And I know Mike Slade, who was his best friend and worked and he told me the way he was like, you know? So maybe I'm not more like that. You know, Steve Jobs was never happy with the iPhone, never happy with anything. Still did what he had to do, but was never happy.
Well, that's always definitely share.
Yeah. We're always trying to find something. I think at the end of the day, the journey, success is a journey. It's never a destination. Because I don't know what the destination is. It's like the unknown. Then the question, if we knew it, it's like, would you want to know the day you died? And would that change the way you live?
So no. So part of death is like one of my biggest fears. Not dying isn't my biggest fear, but dying alone and nobody knowing is one of my biggest fears. And I've told you this. I think that the first person that would know I was gone is you, because you would have WeChatted me 800 times. You there, Pack, where are you? Why aren't you answering? Pack, hello, Pack. But that terrifies me, that my boss would be the person that first knows that I'm dead. So it's not death, it's the like, basically my boss realizing that I'm dead before anyone else in my life would. So I've done, over quarantine, I've done a lot of, like research and like studying on like fears based around death. And Buddhists supposedly are the most like at peace with dying. And they're able to develop this because 5 times a day, they focus on death. So I downloaded this app, and it's actually, it's created by Buddhists, and it's this app where 5 times a day, you actually get an alert on your phone, and it says, this is your daily reminder, you're going to die. 5 times a day, you get that alert.
Oh shit, really?
I'm shocked I don't have one right now. I would show you. And then you go into this app, and it gives you a quote, right? So this is the quote. Like, so I get an alert on my phone. This is your reminder, you're going to die. You open it, and it's a quote. So right now my quote is, "Death takes no bribes" by Benjamin Franklin. And so when you open it, and like some of the quotes are like deeper, some of them are simpler, but you're supposed to look at it and be like, focus on the fact that you are going to die 5 times a day. And I've been doing that now for about 3 weeks. And I will tell you, it sounds very weird and very strange. And I know it makes no sense, because I've shared this with a couple of my other friends that have different death related fears. But it starts making you actually think more about the fact that, like, basically the second you're born, you're just dying. Like, you're born and you just literally start dying every single day, leading to, at some point, you're going to die. You can't plan it. You can't know about it. You can't avoid it. You can't cheat it. You can't change it. You can't fight it. Like, it's going to happen at some point. So just kind of like embracing that. And it's like, I have started to have more of a shift in that, like, fear mindset around death. But yes,
yeah.
It literally, I wish the alert would actually, maybe there's one in my history I can show you. It literally will just notification on your screen say, this is your reminder, you're going to die.
Does it have like a Drago, if he dies, he dies? Like, did they have Dolph Lundgren's quote?
That has not come up yet, but.
You know, this is going to go back on Millionaire Flicks, but there's just no way we can leave this up on YouTube. There's no way I can leave this up on YouTube.
I didn't
like it will come down, but I'll put this on Millionaire Flicks. It's a good conversation. But that's the thing too. Like, on one hand, the reason why we can't put this on YouTube, it could be twisted in any kind of weird ass context, as opposed to on Millionaire Flicks, it would be more real. But here's the thing too. So hold on. So you're basically kind of like attacking me because of the way I am. Well, what if I said to you, fine, just die, just get it over, die. We need to die, we die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, 5 times a day, die. But I'm not like that.
I'm not attacking you for the way that you are. I'm asking you why.
Yeah, you were kind of attacking me earlier because I keep having the conversation. You obviously keep having the inner conversation about your death. And by the way, the fact that I would be the first one to want to know, first of all, everyone would know, because then what I would do is this. So something would happen to you, which would be devastating, which will never happen, but I have insurance. And then it would happen, and then I would put a post that something happened, and it would get record likes. I know if something happened to you, that's record likes. I'm telling you, record likes. Everyone would know.
My point is.
Hold on. But then I would have a course attached. That'd be called. I'd be like Pac's legacy. Honor her legacy by getting these 3 courses she did. I'm telling you, the monetization about that too, and then people will be listening to you. And then I'd have it like some of the proceeds
No,
go to something of, some charity that you like.
My point with you earlier is you decide things. You've already made the decision on what you're gonna do.
Do you ever wonder why I feel guilty about it? Maybe that's why I talk about it, because I feel guilty about it.
We keep talking about it, and we keep talking about it, and we keep
right, because I keep feeling guilty about it.
But I don't know why.
It's like those people. Should I divorce the people? Just do it. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
Leave them. Bye.
Fascinating conversation. And by the way, I don't care what anybody says. This is Millionaire Flicks. This is as real as it gets. And that's real conversations and real things as well. So,
and yet still all of you are not hitting the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button, people.
Yeah. Fascinating. I didn't know this was going to lead into this by any means a stretch of the day. So, all right. So, everybody, if you're not Millionaire Flicks, get Millionaire Flicks. If you haven't upgraded, upgrade to level 2, get the coaching every week and stuff like that. And tomorrow, buying and selling businesses with no money, buyingandsellingbusiness.com. Hugh Hilton, myself, everyone, 3 hours is going to be absolutely fantastic. Any final words, Pac? Get Millionaire Flicks.
Get Millionaire Flicks. And, a point that I made earlier, whatever your weaknesses are, it's not listen to it once. Listen to that program over and 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 over again, because you don't become amazing at something by doing it once. You got to do it over and 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 over again. So, I know there is a lot of content. Don't be overwhelmed. Focus on the weaknesses and the areas you need help in first, and just keep doing it over and over again, because that's when you are going to get good at something. JT's so good at what he does because he's been doing it for years. He was not an amazing speaker at first. He's been doing it for years. That's why he is the world's top speaker. He's been coaching for years. How many coaching sessions do you actually think you've done in your lifetime? And I'm counting all the people you coach at Top One, all the people you coach at Live Event. Like, it's got to be in the millions, right? Like, you're such a great coach because you've been coaching and you've done it so much, right? I know, like this, right? You've done before you even.
You should send me 5 great quotes about myself every day. You are great. You are a master. Will have eternal life, eternity. You shall live forever. You're the most dominating human being on this planet.
No, but think about it. Like, you're so great at deals because before you even started speaking or coaching, you've done over 500 deals, right? Like, you weren't amazing at deals on your 3rd deal. And so I think sometimes people take that out of context. Like, JT is an amazing coach because he's done millions of coaching sessions. He's amazing at doing deals because he's done thousands of deals. He's so good at those. He's so great at speaking because I can't imagine how many speeches you've given. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, all of
that's
it.
That's what I'm saying. So you're proving. Hold on, you're proving my point. Is that I'm so great at so many different things.
Now we just need
Number one,
a couple of them and focus.
Now I want to be great at something else. That's the point. But who knows what's going to happen. We'll be back as promised this afternoon. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about. I have no idea if I'll get my Instagram account back for the live, but we should be back at 3:30, whether there's an Instagram live or not. I don't know. Thank you very much. We rewatch this.
19 of you haven't given us the thumbs up.
Come on, like the damn thing. Like the thing.
19. 17, give us the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Well, that doesn't matter because the video is coming down. So you want to leave it up or are we taking it down?
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, we're taking it down. We'll put it on Millionaire Flicks. This video will go on Millionaire Flicks.
You're going to download it?
Yeah, we'll do that right now. Okay. Or you want to do it or?
No, no.
You're not enough space? It's taken over by the Buddhists. Pac, you will only die once you make me billions. So your immortality will live within. I'm
going to send you a screenshot the next time I get the alert so you can see what it
looks. Please, that will be so uplifting to me. I love talking about death because I know I'm going to live forever. This has some technology that I'll be able to give myself a transplant. I'm going to clone myself. talking about dying. Everyone knows you, Pac. There you go. This was interesting. We'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.